Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode with that Scotty guy on GTA 5 racing around a brazen special track from one of our live streams. Scotty here, leading the way, gets incredibly lucky. Normally, if you make a mistake coming onto this boost section, you're having a massive crash. I mean, Scotty does have a massive crash. The thing is, the landing of said massive crash leaves the Revolter pointing perfectly in the right direction. I mean, you couldn't do that if you tried. The amount of cars and times people have flung off of that wall in various horrible ways to manage to land it, losing so little time, is utterly ridiculous. Saddles on GTA 5 are going for the jump when the Phoenix decides it wants to do a little bit more spectacular stuff. I'm not sure bailing out the car was a great idea in all of that. I mean, I guess the player survived. The car is quite poorly. Don't quite know why the car decided it suddenly wanted to do a backflip off of that jump, but there we go. LM on Forza Horizon 4 is learning that just because a car is tiny doesn't mean you can't Austin Powers it. Yep, that is the smallest car in the game, managing to find a place where it shouldn't be. Stuck between... You can get any other car stuck in there, but the PL managed to. Mustang Bugatti on Dirt Rally 2 is learning that, well, Austin Powersing normal cars also quite easy to do on here, with the escorts being spun onto a bridge, and in trying to recover, you'd probably been better off driving off the bridge the way you came and then spinning back round. As it is, yeah, that's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. It's not just player cars either. Krisha on Need for Speed 2015 was being chased by police, was being the important part in all of this, because as you will notice further back there, the police car in all their, it's the FailRace police department, in all their infinite wisdom, made a mistake, I think it's safe to say, coming out of that corner. It is now not going to be going any further. Yep, that is the police managing to get stuck. It looks like it's very close to being able to shuffle itself out, and there we go. It does get free, but well done, the FRPD. We stick with Need for Speed onto a more classic one here with Hot Pursuit 2, the BMW being chased by a police car. There's a Falcon police car. Gives a tag to the BMW, clips the wall, and then just doesn't really know when to stop spinning. Well, spinning and rolling technically down the road. That's a large number of pirouettes, shall we say, for the BMW. It does just about manage to get going and stay away from the police. A Clio Pleb up next on Nascar 2003. You know things are going to go badly wrong with this one. Cars, someone squeezes up a little bit too much, and off goes the chain reaction where everybody has a massive shunt. This is perhaps one of the tamer NASCAR 2003 crashes, as the green car gets spun around a million times on the infield, and as ever with the NASCAR crashes, they just don't really know when to stop. This vehicle spun up the course, just takes out another whole group of cars. They just keep sort of ploughing into it, and as vehicles are trying to either slow down or stay out of trouble and just try and recover, still more bumps and shunts going on, and then that's pretty much almost the entire field there, broken in one way or another. Knight's Viper up next on Just Cause 4 is looking for a shortcut to get down towards the bridge when things do not go well. I'm not sure what starts this tumble going badly wrong. I don't know whether it's a bush, whether it's a lamppost, something, as the buggy goes flying down here. That one there was very much a bush, and then it's just pinged, and many more rotations for the buggy. It makes it across. It's not quite the way it was intended on making it across, but it did make it across in the end. You got Squirrel up next on Mafia 2. Finds out that if you kind of run the truck up the guardrail, up the kind of concrete central reservation, you can actually carry more corner speed. They have an idea for the next corner. They'll try it again, just try to get somewhere faster. The problem is, this next corner doesn't quite work the same way for the truck. Turns out, yes, running along the concrete barrier in the truck's not the best. That's not going to be getting out of there anytime soon. Speaking of rolling, Stinty Boy up next on Metal Gear Solid 5 has a tank. Yes, I did say speaking of rolling in all of this while the tank is bumbling its way around. Now this, some physics gets confused as the tank's dealing with rocks. It's up on its side, still up on its side, still up on its side. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite go all the way over. Clipping a tree would be enough to send the tank back down, but that's an impressive one-track moment for the vehicle. You don't see that very often. Welsh Toast up next on F1 2019. This driving the Formula 2 cars, GP2 cars, whichever one they are, when one of the AIs gets bored of driving. Now, this is quite difficult to show, quite difficult to see, but one of the cars up ahead, I think it's one of the, is it like Russian time team cars, just stops at turn 1 for no discernible reason. It goes ghost mode briefly and then gets going again as everyone has to try and frantically deal with it. It's kind of half ghost mode and half... It's very peculiar. Just didn't want to continuing moving, basically. Joe Digi on a Assetto Corsa up next, racing some GT cars around a very, very fast circuit when things go wrong for the BMWs. Up ahead, trying to go too wide through this corner. The M3 on the outside, not quite have enough space. It over goes the McLaren, the car we're riding on board with. Manages to check up and avoid the huge mess. And I think the player was in the McLaren, actually, that got wiped out in all of that. Yeah, the player had no real part to play in this. It's just an AI BMW that runs a little too wide, can't get stopped, pings off the McLaren that goes through the BMWs off through the floor with that crash. It's a huge, huge crash for that car. And finally, we have Glider Gaming on Street Legal Racing Redline. Having got a wanted level, the police continue to not, well, be helpful. I say wanted level, I'm thinking GTA, but the police are after the, I think it's a Subaru we're in here. Police don't really know what to do with this junction and how to get to the player. I mean, the police nearly rolled over a truck. The rest of the traffic cars are having difficulties as well, kind of navigating around this part. A truck's crashed into a police car. That yellow truck's almost fallen over twice. The police car's bumped into a wall, now bumped into the Frosty Gold machine that went past. They crash into another one of the pickup trucks. Another police cars into the wall. Eventually it makes its way up towards where the player is to issue the fine. But honestly, I feel like the police broke many, many more laws in their attempt to get the player car as more physics gets unhappy with a police car crashing into a van and a pickup that's then phased itself. Just weird goings on, and behind a bus has crashed into a... Just a messy couple of junctions, and now the van is the wrong side of the road and crashed into a wall. It's like the GTA. This is the origins of the GTA 5 AI. It would make a lot of sense if this was. It would explain an awful, awful lot. And there we go. Yeah, that's quite a mess. It's quite a mess indeed. That, though, is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description. At the very top of the page, is the FailRace clips and mission section. And in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. However, that is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching. And until next time, a goodbye.